On today's safety edition of Innovate, an electronic shark repellent unit keeps sharks at bay. A lie detector using high-definition thermal imaging revolutionises the security industry. A smart shirt allows the elderly to regain their independence, and a complex computer system simulates emergency evacuations. The dangers of the sea are well documented, and this would have to be the worst case scenario. The capsizing of a ferry laden with people is not only treacherous for passengers, but for rescuers as well. As a result, Britain's Sea Rescue Organisation has opened a state-of-the-art virtual training facility for crews. The Lifeboat College and Training School will help crews prepare for situations like these. The simulator replicates the controls of an all-weather lifeboat and allows crews to train without ever launching out to sea. In this virtual reality scenario, there's a man overboard after an explosion on a tanker. But the trainees do get their feet wet too. This wave simulator and survival tank gives lifeboat crews an authentic taste of choppy waters. In safe conditions, they can practice capsize drills until it becomes second nature, and this is the reality they're practicing for. The latest training is part of a new $30 million facility. It will instruct more than 4,000 people a year to become crew members of the Royal National Lifeboat Institute's rescue craft. This may look like just another box on the wall, but it's the latest piece of closed-circuit television technology. The unit has been developed at Sound Alert Works. As people pass the device, it emits a broadband sound that the brain reacts to. That reaction forces people to look at the camera, giving it a full-face image. That clear image is particularly important, especially when identifying people committing crimes. The system is based on directional sound technology, based on wildlife responses to noise in avoiding predators. The human brain has similar responses when hearing broadband sounds. Although the technology may help fight crime, other users could include firms that use facial recognition software and undercover security companies. This reconstruction shows two men approaching a cash machine. Their aim is to read your PIN number and steal your card. Despite the fact that they look conspicuous, nobody seems to notice. These days, though, a more sophisticated form of theft is taking place, and those responsible don't even have to be nearby. That's the situation facing banks, police, and all of us around the world. These odd-looking objects are actually the latest gadgetry recovered by British police from gangs who target cash machines. The throat reader, which reads the card details, replaces the card slot, and the handmade bar, which contains a mini camera, records the PIN number. The banking industry, though, hopes it now has an answer to this crime. New cards have been made, embedded with the very latest, specially designed microchip technology. Hopefully, it will put an end to criminals targeting innocent people on the streets. The threat of being attacked by sharks while swimming in the ocean is a fear many people harbour. Over the years, surfers in particular have suffered horrific injuries, even death as a result of shark attacks. Up until now, it was a risk many were willing to take, but now an Australian firm has come up with an idea to combat the problem. They have unveiled an electronic shark repellent unit, which emits an electronic field to ward off sharks. The unit is a miniature version of the cumbersome anti-shark pods used to protect triathletes in Sydney during the 2000 Olympics. Attached to a swimmer's ankle, it is also worn by abalone divers. The divers pack repelled sharks at a 4 to 5 metre range. The electronic field affects the shark's nervous system through sensitive receptors near its snout. An initial mild discomfort increases as the shark approaches the field until it causes intolerable muscle spasms. The personal anti-shark unit weighs 450 grams and has a battery life of 2 hours. A slightly larger unit for scuba divers is also available, which weighs 600 grams and has a battery life of 4 hours. In most man overboard situations, the people best placed to rescue the victim are fellow crew members. Devices already exist which alert those on a boat if someone falls into the sea, but it's the first time such technology has been incorporated into a watch. Within 4 seconds of an incident occurring, the wristwatch transmits a signal on the standard distress frequency, sounding an alarm on a receiver on board the boat. Flashing lights indicate whether the boat is heading in the right direction. The system has a range of 2.5 kilometres and can be used without alerting rescue services in the area. It can be picked up, however, by coast guards and helicopters if necessary. With the help of modern technology, the Guardian watch will save lives, particularly where deep sea divers may drift away from their ship, or in areas like the North Sea, where survival times in cold water can be measured in minutes. Scientists have developed the latest equipment to aid in lie detecting, a machine that could revolutionise the security industry. The instant lie detector picks up many hot flushes around the eyes and could lead to truth tests becoming standard at airport check-ins. In the new tests, a high-definition thermal imaging camera scans a person's face to see if they blush when answering a question. In theory, blood should rush to the eye area of liars, while the innocent remain coolly and calmly unaffected. Experiments were carried out when 20 people were randomly asked to stab a mannequin, rob it of $20 and then profess their innocence. The results showed the technique to be as effective as existing lie detectors or polygraph tests. The thermal camera correctly picked out 75% of the guilty individuals and 90% of the innocents. While polygraphs have long been considered for increased security at airports, the process takes too long, making it impractical for large numbers of people. A 5-year study has found that car safety for drivers and passengers has vastly improved, but progress in pedestrian safety has stalled. 18 car models were tested, with 4 awarded the maximum rating of 5 stars for passenger safety. 5 years ago, 1 or 2 stars were the norm, but now a 4-star rating is standard. No model, though, gained more than 2 stars for pedestrian protection, with 1 car receiving no star at all. There are roughly 3,000 deaths every day from road traffic accidents. The study found that automakers were reluctant to invest in making cars safer for pedestrians, mainly because consumers were not prepared to pay a premium to protect people outside their vehicle. The study also found injury risks were higher for small children, even with special child restraints, than for adults. While the restraints are better than nothing at all, a lack of systematic testing has made it hard for manufacturers to improve in that area. All in all, the study found that while much progress has been made, more work was still needed. With cars improving through the latest technology, the priority needs to be on lowering the road toll. A new high-tech device to detect explosives has been tested at an airport in the United States. It puffs air around you, then electronically sniffs the microscopic particles that are blown loose, looking for traces of various explosives. And if explosives are detected, then an alarm is activated. Your carry-on luggage still has to be x-rayed on the conveyor, and you still have to walk through a metal detector, but airport officials say not as many people will have to go through secondary screening. The same machines have been used for security at the reopened Statue of Liberty. New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg was among the first to go through. As well as the Tampa International Airport in Florida, 3 other airports across the US are also currently testing the new bomb detector. Britain has introduced its first prison without bars, a satellite tagging system monitoring offenders on probation. It is the first time such a method has been used to track criminals. The system uses electronic tags which are worn around the ankle by offenders. The tags communicate via satellite, relaying information to a ground station. It allows authorities to know precisely where the wearer is at all times. Satellite tagging will be used on sex offenders involved in prolific crimes and domestic violence. It will be used following their release from custody or as part of their exclusion order. Satellite tracking has been used in the United States, but this is the first time it has come to Europe. There are 81 million people in Vietnam, and about 2 million are estimated to have access to the internet, mostly at inexpensive internet cafes like this. The number logging on is expected to triple in 1 year, but like its neighbour China, Communist Vietnam has tight controls on the internet's use. It closely monitors emails and blocks sites it deems inappropriate. Several political dissidents who have posted anti-communist messages have been jailed as a result. Now the government has unleashed a cyber police unit. The officers have been trained by IT specialists with a focus on criminals and financial abusers rather than political views. The new police unit is only small. It will take time to master the new IT skills needed to understand cybercrime. To help, they'll be working with internet service providers, universities, former hackers and other security forces. The health and well-being of the elderly has become a major issue throughout the rapidly ageing Asian society. In many communities, you can often see many taking part in the relaxing exercise of Tai Chi in the brisk morning air. However, researchers in Singapore believe a more scientific method is needed. They have come up with a shirt that is not only smart, but can keep you safe as well. The shirt is installed with menswear devices, an invention using micro-electromechanical systems engineering. MEMS are machines so tiny they are invisible to the naked eye. The machines installed in these smart shirts are able to detect mostly shocks. That data is then transmitted via Bluetooth technology to a computer that reroutes the information to a mobile phone or a computer. 30% of patients treated by doctors tend to be frail elderly people, brought in after they've had a nasty fall. The fear of falling also causes a loss of confidence and restriction of mobility and independence. The makers of the smart shirt are hoping that they can help provide elderly people with a means of regaining their independence once again. Australian researchers have come up with an electronic version of the back seat driver, which they hope will improve road safety. While most drivers hate having their mistakes pointed out by passengers, this system may one day save their life. Using 3 cameras inside a car, a computer detects road signs, alerting drivers when they fail to react. The system also uses cameras to make sure drivers spot road signs in the first place. The project started 5 years ago at the Australian National University, and the team hopes it will be ready for widespread use within 4 years. But will motorists accept a computerised driving expert telling them what to do? If it means avoiding a speeding ticket, then I'm sure it won't be too much of a problem. A new talking lamppost system to help the visually impaired has been unveiled in northwest London. The wayfinding system uses sensors to activate information stored in the lampposts in public areas. The system allows for greater independence for visually impaired people, allowing them to travel with greater ease. 26 strategically placed boxes speak to the blind, providing information about where they are. To access the information, the visually impaired use a coded card. It triggers sensors in the speakers when they're within 8 metres, and those who've used the system agree that it helps them enormously. The wayfinding system has already been successfully piloted in Leeds and Bristol. It's hoped similar systems around the UK will help the visually impaired live more independent lives. Cyclists are often seen as the most vulnerable of road users. Now they have the benefit of hindsight thanks to a new invention, the world's first rear-view cycling helmet. The ReView works much like a rear-view car mirror, but uses a 3-way optical system. It sends an image to a reflective strip situated on the inside front of the helmet. The company is also gearing up to use the patented technology for motorcycle helmets. The helmet was launched at the International Cycle Show in London. Certified to British and European safety standards, the US market is next on their list. After spending nearly $1 million on its development, the creators believe it will dominate the world helmet market. Evacuating a plane in an emergency is a difficult task to rehearse. Tests using real people are expensive and difficult to stage. At the University of Greenwich in South London, a team of engineers have made the task easy. They've developed a complex computer system that simulates emergency evacuations from planes, ships and buildings. It was designed to help manufacturers and builders iron out potentially dangerous design faults at the planning stage. The Exodus system has built in many different variables, predicting the reactions of people in the case of emergencies. A study of past disasters helped the designers with their format. The software is also constantly updated with the latest knowledge on human behaviour to help make the system more realistic. The latest project examines why people tend not to use emergency exits when escaping from a building. The award-winning British-built computer system has been chosen to help plan safe facilities for the 2008 Olympic Games in Beijing. Stadiums, new hotels, airports and main shopping streets have been designed, with issues of people movement and evacuation a top priority. The system has also won further recognition with an award of a prestigious Pan-European Information Technology Prize. Another British company has designed a prototype scanning machine for the improvement of airport security. The device uses special beams to X-ray people to see if they're carrying concealed weapons or devices. The prototype scanner uses millimetre wave technology. Quite simply, it bounces radio waves off the body to identify its shape. It then allows the viewer to observe people without their clothes. This allows suspect items concealed on the body to be spotted. A trial of the machine showed a scanned subject concealing what looked like a gun in the back of his trousers. A second subject looked like he was hiding something in his pocket. A search revealed a ceramic knife. UK airports are one of the safest places to fly from in the world. The scanning system has been tested at Gatwick Airport on around 500 passengers with excellent feedback. The machine is just a prototype with refinements still to be made. A full working model will soon be on the market. With airport security a high priority, people should now think twice about carrying a concealed weapon on their body. What do you give the soldier who has everything? The latest gadget for the embattled serviceman combines technology with safety, a gun that can be used to shoot round corners. For around $3,000, the well-equipped soldier can add a sighting system to his favourite firearm, so he can search, aim and fire safely around corners during combat. A streamlined video camera can be mounted on a rifle or pistol, and the image is relayed to a viewfinder on the soldier's wrist or helmet. The weapon can then be extended around obstacles without the soldier exposing anything more than his arms. The camera signal is also connected to a recorder worn on the soldier's back. Here, in the doorway of a mock-up house, a soldier reaches in with a pistol and hits a cardboard target. In the past, soldiers relied on using mirrors attached to firearms to overcome the danger of shooting around corners. Now, technology has brought an electronic device to improve their safety in the 21st century. Potential targets now have every reason to be camera shy. A $10 million concept car from Volvo took to the streets in New York, offering many a glimpse into the high-tech future of driving. Futuristic cartoon character George Jetson would have been right at home behind the wheel. The only thing it doesn't do is fly. Features of the car include an eye sensor that adjusts the driver's seat and controls to their optimum position. Sensors and cameras are embedded in door mirrors and front and rear bumpers to help eliminate blind spots and warn of potential collisions. An adaptive lighting system monitors road speed and steering wheel movement. Built-in night vision using an infrared camera greatly improves night driving, illuminating otherwise invisible or hard-to-see obstacles. The car is also designed with see-through pillars to help give the driver a panoramic view of the road. Although the model will not make it into production, many of its potentially life-saving items will. One of the largest and heaviest building relocation projects in China has occurred at the Yangnan Hotel. Its engineers were so confident of its safety that they allowed residents to continue living in the structure while the move was happening. The relocation saw the hotel move a full 26 metres to make way for a new highway. Although not the tallest building ever to be moved, the 6-storey hotel, weighing in at 8,000 tonnes, was the heaviest. The most impressive aspect of the engineering feat, though, was its level of safety. From the second floor up, the hotel was completely intact and fit for regular use. While the hotel temporarily closed for business, the engineers were so confident that they allowed hotel employees to reside in the building. On each floor, electronic sensors were placed in strategic positions. It fed vibration signals to a computer in the command headquarters, located in the hotel. Often, older structures are ripped or dynamited to make way for new development, but some will be spared destruction by advances in techniques for moving buildings. And finally, we bring you yet another high-tech airport security system. An airport in Amsterdam has installed a device that identifies passengers by scanning their iris. With the new foolproof technology, the international airport hopes to boost both its security and efficiency. The Dutch airport has become the first in the world to use iris recognition for border passing. It is considered foolproof because the human iris is unique, even among identical twins. Compared to other forms of biometric identification, such as finger or handprints, the iris scan is the most reliable. The structure of the eye hardly ever changes, while a small wound on a finger could hamper recognition. To use the automatic border check, passengers must have their iris scanned and details stored on a credit-sized smart card. Once that is done, check-in and clearing passport control becomes simple. Passengers need to insert the smart card in a machine, then look into a camera for a fresh photo of their eye. Within seconds, the system compares the photo with the data stored on the smart card. When details match, admission is granted. Well, that's it for our safety edition. We hope you join us next time on Innovate.